Usually, when we see someone walking down the street in like a brightly colored raincoat, we just assume they're having a fun, splashy kind of day.
Right, yeah. You don't really overthink it.
Exactly. But sometimes that coat is actually there to protect them from a massive storm.
That is a really great way to put it.
Thanks. So, welcome to today's deep dive. I'm your host, and I'm sitting down with our expert to unpack a really fascinating stack of listener notes today.
Hi, everyone. I am really excited to dig into this one because the sources are incredible.
They really are. We're analyzing characters from the anime One Piece alongside existential philosophy, which sounds wild, but our mission today is to explore this premise that humor isn't actually the opposite of pain.
Right. It's the container we use to carry it.
Yes. And we're told that the funniest people you know are often just, the best trained grievers.
It's such a compelling way to look at how we cope, honestly. Because if we want to see how this raincoat works in practice, we have to look at characters surviving the unimaginable.
Okay, let's get into the character studies.
Yeah, so Brook is a perfect example of this.
Well, Brook's raincoat is practically neon. I mean, he survives literal death, only to wake up decades later to find every single person he ever loved is gone.
Right. The sheer scale of that trauma is staggering.
Yeah.
And his response to that utter isolation isn't silence. It's theatrical cheerfulness. It's music and skull jokes.
Because the alternative is just too much.
Exactly. If he actually stopped to feel the full crushing size of that loss alone, it would be completely unbearable. The humor is his shield.
Okay, I track with Brook using jokes to stave off the isolation, but what happens when the fear isn't isolation, but humiliation?
That completely shifts the strategy.
Right, which is exactly what we see with a character like Buggy.
Yeah.
Because structurally, he's just comic relief.
He is. But Buggy is terrified of being mocked. So instead of using humor to hide from grief like Brook, Buggy uses it as like a preemptive strike. Yeah, he builds his entire identity around controlling the laughter on his own terms. He makes himself the joke first before anyone else has the ammunition to aim a laugh at him.
Okay, I have to stop you there, though, because I'm genuinely confused about something in these notes.
Sure, what is it?
If Brook and Buggy are using laughter to mask their pain or insecurity, what about Luffy?
Ah.
I mean, he laughs louder and more often than anyone else in the series. By this logic, shouldn't he be the most broken character of all? How is his laughter not just another mask?
That is the crucial distinction, actually, and it's why Luffy is the exception here. His laughter isn't a defense mechanism.
He isn't deflecting.
No, not at all. When he laughs, it's genuine joy. And because he isn't using humor to hide from his own pain, he's uniquely capable of just sitting with other people's grief.
Without trying to fix it?
Exactly. He can be present in someone else's darkness without flinching and without, trying to joke his way out of the room to relieve the tension.
Which is something the typical funny friend often struggles to do.
Oh, absolutely.
And look, psychologically speaking, using humor to cope isn't inherently a bad thing, right?
No, not at all. It's actually considered one of the more mature defense mechanisms on the list.
Because it lets you process heavy emotions in a crowded room without feeling, completely exposed.
Right. Brook's grief is real, and it's enormous. His jokes let him carry it in public. The risk isn't the coping itself.
Then what's the danger?
The danger is when everyone around you mistakes the coping mechanism for an absence of the wound.
Oh, man. They see the funny raincoat and completely miss the storm underneath.
Precisely.
That perfectly sets up the philosopher Søren Kierkegaard. I want to bring him into this because he described humor as a way station before existential seriousness.
Yes.
But how does that actually work mechanically? How does a joke act as a bridge to something that profound?
Think of it as a rest stop for the psyche.
Okay.
Confronting the absolute absurdity and tragedy of existence directly is paralyzing. If Brook stared straight into the reality of losing everyone forever, he would completely collapse under the weight of it.
So humor acts as a buffer.
Right. It allows a person to acknowledge that terrifying reality out of the corner of their eye, process it in a bite-sized piece, and just keep moving. Brook lives in that stage for years.
So the goal isn't to stop joking altogether.
Not at all. It's about noticing when the joke has become the only room that your grief is allowed to live in.
I want you, listening right now, to really think about that. Is there someone in your life who is always the funny one?
We all know someone like that.
Right. Have you ever wondered what would happen if you asked them a real question and just didn't let them deflect with a bit?
Or consider if you are that person. If you're the one who always deflects with a joke, Here's a challenge for you this week.
Ooh, I like this.
Try leaving just one moment unfunny on purpose. Just let it sit there, uncovered, see what happens.
It reminds me of a thought from our sources that really gave me chills.
What was it?
Some laughter is joy. Some laughter is just grief
Yeah.
that learned early it wasn't allowed to be anything heavier in front of other people.
Wow. It completely reframes how we hear a laugh.
It really does. And it leaves me with one final thought for you to chew on today. If we recognize that laughter can be a brightly colored raincoat, what if the loudest, most persistent laughs in a room are actually distress signals that we've just been conditioned to applaud?